How's it going, everybody? ChaoticMeatball here, and welcome back to the channel. So today, we're taking on the second of the 3 Kaizo games in the Professor Oak Challenge format, and that's Blue Kaizo. I'm sure you're already realizing how much I hate doing these challenges in Johto games, so Crystal Kaizo will come later. Blue Kaizo has the same characteristics as Emerald Kaizo, as I'm able to catch the entire Pokédex of 151 Pokémon, and map changes block me off from certain areas and certain Pokémon until much later. For instance, you know how you normally get a gift Eevee in Celadon City? Well, it's moved much later, so you can't get something like Jolteon or Vaporeon really quickly, since they're very powerful Pokemon for this game. My strategy essentially in this run is to get 2 or 3 Pokemon that I'm really training up throughout all of the required trainers, while leaving the other Pokemon to be switch trained out so that they can easily level up, since there are a ton of required trainers throughout this game, and Lord knows I'm gonna have some sections where I'm just fighting trainers and can't get any new Pokemon. But before we get into the rules, I want to make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel. 74% of people that view these videos are unsubscribed, so we went down by a full percentile between this and the last video. So help me get this channel down to 60% unsubscribed. Secondly, make sure to hit that bell and turn on all notifications to get all my videos in your notifications, since it really helps me out and every video I put out is a premiere, so you'll be able to talk to me personally. I'm 99% guaranteed to be at every premiere. Anyway, the rules are, number 1, catch and evolve every obtainable Pokemon you can get before every gym badge. So, for this game, there's going to be all 3 starters before Brock, etc, etc. I've explained this in a number of Professor Oak Challenge videos in the past. Link to the playlist in the description. Rule number 2, no trading with other games, which is pretty hard to do with a ROM hack, and rule 3, no glitches. That's kind of something that can't be avoided very well when it comes to ROM hacks, but of course I'll go over anything that may happen, but nothing really too crazy happens here. So our first Pokemon that we're choosing is our starter. All 3 of them are available over on Route 22, but both Bulbasaur and Charmander are 15% encounters over there, and Squirtle is 14%. So I figured I'd take the extra percentage out of the equation and take the Squirtle. Taking down Mew with Squirtle was plenty easy enough, allowing me to get the parcel for Oak and get the Pokédex to start the challenge proper. Alright, time to catch some stuff. Just like Emerald Kaizo, there's a ton of encounters packed into every area, meaning the open areas of Route 1, Route 22, Route 2, and Viridian Forest have a ton of Pokemon to collect. And because of this, Pokeball prices have been changed from 200 Pokédollars to just 10 each. So let's see what we can find. On Route 1, I managed to find Pidgey, Weedle, Rattata, Caterpie, Spearow, Sandshrew, Ekans, Nidoran Female, Nidoran Male, evolving Pidgey into Pidgeotto at level 9, yes, level 9, Faulkner's Pidgeotto I guess came from Blue Kaizo, and Pikachu. Pikachu was a 1% encounter, but I found it so quickly after Nidoran Male that I didn't really feel too much of an impact based on it. I decided to nickname all my Pokemon only one character since Blue Kaizo has a ton of training, and any time save I can get, I will absolutely take. Though, not being able to see their sprites in the PC makes it a little bit harder to deal with, but I'll get used to it. Route 22 came straight after, where I managed to capture Cubone, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Ditto. Ditto was another one of those 1% encounters, but grinding with everything in my party makes the search fly by, which leads to the third of 4 areas for this section, Route 2. Over here we've got Diglett, Vulpix, Psyduck, evolving Weedle into Kakuna at level 7, Mankey, Jigglypuff, Growlithe, and Meowth, another 1% encounter. Meowth probably took the longest out of the 3 so far, but I was quite lucky so far in the run since it wasn't taking a boatload of time to find these, so I'm pretty happy with that, since Emerald Kaizo was breaking my back with these 1%. After healing though, I managed to evolve Kakuna into Beedrill at level 10, and Caterpie into Metapod at level 7, before arriving in the Viridian Forest. The forest doesn't have too many new encounters since I already have the bugs, but inside was Paris, evolving Metapod into Butterfree at level 10 while searching, Venonat, Poliwag, and Oddish for the time being. Ponyta and Bellsprout ended up being the biggest pain in the bum when it came to searching for encounters in this section, though at least Ponyta evolves at level 26 rather than level 40 in this hack, so I'll give it a little bit of slack. With that being said, those are all of the captures for this section, but that means it's time for the start of the grinding portion of this section. Well, almost. There's a Moonstone sitting right outside of Viridian Forest on Northern Route 2, so I chose to evolve Jigglypuff into Wigglytuff since I haven't yet done the grinding for either Nidoran, so I may as well get it out of the way first. Grinding in this section gets to be quite insane with just how many Pokemon you're training against level 5s in the Viridian Forest. But the fact is that most of them have really decent movesets as they level up early on. So I'm able to get stuff like Waterfall, Confusion, Razor Leaf, Swift, Rock Slide, Earthquake. There's a ton of good moves for Gen 1 that are learned by so many Pokemon at early levels that it just makes grinding a breeze. And at 3 times of speed, it really didn't feel like I was taking that much time at all, even though I really was. Evolving Pidgeotto into Pidgeot at level 20, Squirtle into Wartortle at level 16, catching Bellsprout, Nidoran Female into Nidorina at level 16, finally catching Ponyta and finishing the catches, Paris into Parasect at level 24, Oddish into Gloom at level 16, Meowth into Persian at level 28, Poliwag into Poliwhirl at level 14, Bellsprout into Weepinbell at level 16, Psyduck into Golduck at level 20, Ponyta into Rapidash at level 26, Venonat into Venomoth at level 31, Wartortle into Blastoise at level 36, Nidoran Male into Nidorino at level 16, Ekans into Arbok at level 16, Cubone into Marowak at level 16, Charmander into Charmeleon at, you guessed it, level 16, Rattata into Raticate at level 20, oh we got a change here, awesome, Bulbasaur into Ivysaur at level 16, come on, another 16, Spearow into Fearow at level 20, Mankey into Primeape at level 20, Sandshrew into Sandslash at level 22, Diglett into Dugtrio at level 26, Charmeleon into Charizard at level 36, and Ivysaur into Venusaur at level 36. Yeah, it's not 32 in this ROM hack, they actually changed it to be the equal level with all starters, which I tend to agree with. But with all of that grinding out of the way, I talked to the only guy who will let me over this ledge and fought Brock with a time of around 75 hours. I'd say specifically, but I forgot to hit record and saved outside of the gym before I noticed. Whoops. Wouldn't be a Chaotic Meatball video without missing footage though, that's for sure. With Brock crushed though, I went straight into Route 3, and luckily the creator of this hack, Sinister Hooded Figure, decided not to be so sinister and put a patch of grass before the trainers on this route, so I can grab my Pokemon for this route without wasting experience, those being Geodude, and yeah, I didn't grab anything else since Geodude needs to be switch trained anyway since it only starts with Self-Destruct, and doesn't get an attacking move until level 21 in Rock Slide. Alright, well I can see where the Sinister comes in now, but on the way back from my first round of healing, I managed to catch Rhyhorn, the 1% encounter of the route. I guess the game is taking pity on me. Can't completely adjust a game's code to hate a person. I managed to get to the center on Route 4 before Mount Moon with Geodude at level 16, then hunted for the last encounter on Route 3, that being Machamp. Alright, now we have 2 trait evolutions turned high-level evolutions in this section, as well as a level 42 evolution in Rhyhorn. I'm looking forward to it, yes. Initially, I had planned to just ignore Route 4 for the time being and grab the encounters at Mount Moon, but I realized that was dumb since I forgot Magikarp in the Pokemon Center, and I can't get that otherwise, so I went ahead and grabbed Magnemite, Voltorb, Krabby, Magikarp from the center, and Seal before heading into the cave proper. This cave can be a heck of a maze the first time around, but since I did a challenge in Blue Kaizo a couple months back, I at least have some prior knowledge. With it, I know that there's 2 Moonstones and one of the Fire, Water, Thunder, and Leaf Stones hanging around, meaning we'll have a lot of stone evolutions after we get out. Getting to catches though, I scored Clefairy, Zubat, and Onix on the first floor, Grimer on the first basement floor, and Coughing on the second basement floor. The area is really not too difficult to get through, and Geodude finally ended up learning Rock Slide early on in the cave, so it was made a bit nicer to level, though only having 10 power points for the move basically makes it difficult to level either way, since I only get 10 attacks and I'm lucky to one-shot anything at this point. But by the end it evolved into Graveler at level 25 and still didn't learn anything new. I guess I'm still saddled with this for a little while longer. I grabbed the Hidden Moonstone here, since some people may be wondering where the Hidden Moonstone was put in the map edit, so I hope that helps you out. The other 5 stones are scattered throughout as visible items and aren't hard to find, so with that, let's get out of here. I hate caves. I really do, both in real life and video games. They're too dreary, so I'm glad that we are out of there, but we still have Rock Tunnel. On my way out, though, I grabbed the Helix fossil. And no, I didn't flip a coin on this one. I just grabbed it out of spite so I can deposit it immediately into the PC and never revive it, since the fossils are catchable as soon as you reach Cinnabar. Suck on that, you Helix. You're useless and always will be. Once I arrived in Cerulean City, though, I went straight for the PC so that I'd be able to evolve Nidorina into Nidoqueen with a Moonstone, Clefairy into Clefable with my other Moonstone, Vulpix into Ninetales with the Firestone, Poliwhirl into Poliwrath with the Waterstone, Weepinbell into Victorybell with the Leafstone, and Pikachu into Raichu with the Thunderstone. Good little chunk out of the way, I must say. But now it's time for the big old trek through Rival 2 and up through routes 24 and 25. These areas are a massive pain, since it's full of required trainers, and backtracking to the Pokemon Center over and over again is practically required as well. But at least it isn't one of those areas that block you in with a ledge, and either victory or whiting out are your only options. Before that, though, I noticed I could go under the Nugget Bridge and get to some grass for both routes, so I went ahead and did the captures before facing off against any trainers, those being Farfetch'd and Doduo on Route 24, and Mr. Mime on Route 25, another 1% encounter. Technically, there's a trade for Mr. Mime for a Golbat on Route 2, but I can't get to it without cut, so this is my only way of getting it for the section. At least it didn't take a boatload of time to get. Now it's time for the segment that's gonna get cut as soon as I do it. It's time for Guess That Evolution! So, what Pokemon are we gonna happen to evolve on the trek through Rival 2? All the way to the SS ticket from Bill? None. Absolutely none. Somehow with that many trainers, Graveler wasn't able to evolve, but we are getting close. Though now I have the SS ticket, I can go ahead and get through the Rocket Grunt and get down to Route 5, where I can catch a Spearow. You may be asking, wait a second, Meatball, why are you catching another Spearow? Well, there's actually a trade in Cerulean City, but before that I made sure to catch Lickitung and Tangela before going back to trade Spearow for Horsey in Cerulean. We're almost done with the encounters for this section, but there's also another whopping 3 other trades we have to do coming up pretty quick. So I grabbed both Beedrill and Butterfree for 2 of them. The first is in the Underground Path entrance on Route 5, where I can trade Beedrill for a Goldeen, so only 2 more to go. Route 6 on the other side has a few new Mons as well, specifically Hitmons. I swear, I don't come up with these puns, they just happen. Please forgive me. Either way, I caught Hitmonlee and Hitmonch. Oh, come on, I hate Gen 1 so much. Why can't the box just change itself? You know what? This is enough to push me over the edge. Next Friday, in-depth retrospective of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. I'm about ready to expel my rage on Gen 1 while also giving its props. Hope you look forward to it. But either way, I'm in Vermilion City. No need to worry about those stupid boxes anymore. But there's actually one more trade here, and that's Tentacool for Butterfree. Vermilion's got one of those terrible sections that I was talking about earlier, since once I step onto Route 11, I can't go back, so I made sure I had some powerful beaters to swap into, while also having some healing items. Sure enough, I made it through without whiting out, getting to the Route 11 gate where I can trade my Farfetch'd for a Flareon. Normally we'd have to breed this, but there isn't breeding in Gen 1, so we'll have to wait on the other Eevee-related Mons until later. With Route 11 out of the way, though, I now have access to the SS Anne, which actually has a Firestone and Leafstone on board. So after evolving Horsey into Seadra at level 32 and getting cut, you know what that means. Before grinding, I made sure to evolve Gloom into Vileplume with the Leafstone, and Growlithe into Arcanine with the Firestone. And now for the massive grinding. And with all the high-level evolutions, it was best for me to train over on Route 11, since it's easier for me to get out of the grass and go heal without a few extra Pokemon popping up, and it being a risk of whiting out since I usually use Pokemon until they're near fainting, then swap and heal when all 6 Pokemon are almost down. Looking back though, it would have been so much better for me to grind on Route 6, since if you look at the average EXP yielded on Routes 5, 6, and 11, 11 actually comes in third, with Route 6 coming over 100 EXP more on average. So now that I know, it's a bit frustrating that I spent so much extra time. But that's what happens when you don't check literally everything before going into the grind. With that though, I evolved Graveler into Golem at level 42, Coughing into Wheezing at level 24, Goldeen into Seeking at level 33, Magnemite into Magneton at level 20, Krabby into Kingler at level 16, Voltorb into Electrode at level 30, Zubat into Golbat at level 16, Grimer into Muck at level 24, Machop into Machoke at level 22, Rhyhorn into Rhydon at level 42, Magikarp into Gyarados at level 25, Seal into Dugong at level 26, Tentacool into Tentacruel at level 30, Doduo into Dodrio at level 31, and Machoke into Machamp at level 42. Awesome! Now with all of that out of the way, I went back through Routes 6 and 5 to get back to Cerulean City to fight Misty, with a total of 107 Pokemon and a time of 121 hours and 51 minutes, gaining the ability to use Cut outside of battle. Alright, so this next section's actually pretty interesting to say the least. There is a very, very large gauntlet in the middle of it, which is preceded by the worst dungeon in the history of video games, Altered Rock Tunnel. See, now, this is not just a simple cave that can be memorized like the vanilla Red and Blue. No, you need Flash to get through here, so I had to go back and get that after trying to use a guide for the steps throughout the whole cave. Who knew that a guide with nearly 100 different directions would be poor, especially when steps sometimes don't register, and since there's no reflective walls like there are in actual Gen 1, you can't tell if they didn't register. So you end up losing yourself and having to use Dig or an escape rope to get out of there and start over again. It's very frustrating, but before then on Route 9, I grabbed myself a Scyther, a cool Pokemon for this point in the game, but Bug-type moves suck in Gen 1, so that'll just get tossed in the box. So after that, I did attempt to get through Rock Tunnel without Flash, tried numerous times with the directions that I had written down, link in the description to the in-depth guides for this game that I was using to help me out, so I gave up. Went through Diglett's Cave, and got back up to Route 2 to get Flash from Oak's aid, and to get the old Amber from the scientist in Pewter City since he's blocked off by Cut and will need it for later on. Getting all the way back to Rock Tunnel though, there's actually not a single encounter for me to get here, so I'm glad I don't have to search in this mess of a dungeon. Route 8 doesn't even have a new encounter either, so I got to Celadon City after another trainer gauntlet, and there's actually 2 new Pokemon here, since Porygon and Nidoking are available at the game corner. Fortunately, Porygon's only 1,000 coins, and there's no other Pokemon I have to get here, since even though I could get Nidoking, I don't have to since Moonstones are buyable in the Celadon department store. And if you didn't know that they were added, there's one in the Rocket Hideout here too, so there's no point in spending the money. Sadly, there's nothing to grind at this point yet, and to make 100% sure, I went to the top of the building in Celadon where you'd normally get Eevee, and sure enough, he has been moved to Viridian City. So with that, I just went ahead and bought the remainder of the evolution stones needed to finish the game, including the Moonstone so I could evolve Nidorino into Nidoking, then finally went into the Rocket Hideout. Since there's nothing to grind just yet, I took time to train up my highest level Pokemon to keep up with the fast growing levels of Blue Kaizo, fighting Giovanni and getting the Sylph Scope. Alright, thank you. Now it's time to get a single new Pokemon. Here on the 3rd floor of the Pokemon Tower, I'm able to get a Ghastly, one of only 2 Pokemon needing to be evolved in this section. It's at level 43, so I only have to raise it by 12 levels to get it fully evolved, and with the multitudes of trainers throughout the Pokemon Tower, I was able to get to evolve Ghastly into Haunter, and then into Gengar at level 55 with the help of a few rare candies grabbed around the region by this point. Now, though, I don't have anything to grind, and in hindsight, that was kind of me being impatient and not wanting to just evolve Haunter on the trainers on routes 12 through 15. But I can at least catch Snorlax, so there's a plus in that department. Of course, we don't have to evolve it, so that's all good, and it goes to the PC, leaving just the gauntlet of routes 12 through 15. There were so many trainers throughout this route, but I arrived in Fuchsia City after about an hour of battling. Unfortunately, since I wasn't allowed to get the Thunder Badge from Surge yet, I don't have access to fly, so Fuchsia's gym and the Pokemon Center are blocked off. So if I want to heal, I have to backtrack all the way back to Lavender, which is a super big pain in the bum, but it's not crazy. What is crazy is the Safari Zone. Long story short, you barely have enough steps to get the HMs here, which I complained about in my water-only challenge of this game if you haven't seen it before, so I'm not necessarily going to complain about it again, since it is a dumb design decision, straight up. But I did capture Dratini, Kangaskhan, Magmar, and Electabuzz before getting the HMs and getting out of Dodge. Yeah, we gotta evolve that too, which is why I should have held on to those rare candies. Getting through the remainder of the trainers on the upward cycling road wasn't too hard, getting Dratini to evolve into Dragonair at level 30 and grabbing the HM for Fly at the end. So yeah, we only have one thing to grind up in this section, and since route, I think 13, was pretty close to Lavender and had some great high-level Pokemon to grind on, I just used a bit of switch training with Venusaur, Golem, Charizard, and Blastoise to get it up there since they also need some levels since most of them are starting to get pretty under-leveled. Finally, evolving Dragonair into Dragonite at level 55. I would have used the massive trainer gauntlet inside of the Sylph Company, but of course I can't get in there without Surf. So, what gym leader do we challenge? Well, we can't fight Koga since we need Fly, and he gives me access to Surf, so I think we need to fight Surge, and then fight Koga straight after since there's no new areas I can get to without Surf. So yay, that means backtracking a whole boatload more to get back to Surge with a total of 120 Pokemon and a time of 134 hours and 40 minutes. And with a team of level 50s and 60s, it was quite easy to get past Surge, and afterwards, Koga was a decent enough challenge, giving me access to Surf and to the remainder of the region. Is what I would say if I didn't forget that I can't take Pallet down to Cinnabar Island. No, I have to go through the Seafoam Islands to get there, and I need strength to get through everything there. What I can do, though, is fly back to Viridian City and pick up that gift Eevee that we can have access to in Celadon. With this, I can... Never mind, the gym literally repels you. I hate this map design, I just want Eevee already. Oh well, I can at least get the gift Lapras from the Sylph Company. It takes quite a few hard trainers to get by as well as my rival, but with that, I went straight for Erica, whipping her into next week and giving me access to Strength. None of the routes between Fuchsia and Cinnabar gave me any new encounters, so I just rode through everything with my powerful team, eventually landing there after around a real-time hour of just fighting trainers and getting through the Seafoam Islands. Fortunately, though, the only things we need to get before the next two gym badges are the fossil Pokemon. One being Aerodactyl, which we can revive here on the island, as well as the fossils from Mouth Moon. We can get both as wild Pokemon in the Pokemon Mansion, as on the second floor I caught Kabuto, the third I caught Ammonite, both 4% encounters by the way, and on the basement floor with the secret key I got both Kabutops and Amistar as 5% encounters. Good stuff! The end of this challenge isn't taking too long, and we're coasting by pretty well, other than the really high-level battles, but that's just expected in Kaizo. Of course, I can fight Blaine straight away thanks to all of the rare candies found since I evolved Haunter, so I decided to grab a Wild Wartortle from the route south of Fuchsia City, and rare candy it up in order to evolve it into Blastoise and give me a high enough level water type to wreck through Blaine, with Golem as a backup. Giovanni in the Sylph Company also has to be beaten to open up Sabrina's gym, so I went back through the Sylph Company to get to the top and take him out. Then finally arrived at Sabrina's gym with a total of 126 Pokemon and a time of 144 hours and 42 minutes. Alright, well it's time for pre-badge 8, and you may be thinking, wow, I guess he's gonna be fighting 3 gym leaders practically in a row. I guess that makes sense for Kanto games. But that's actually false. There's 15 new Pokemon for this section, and now that the Viridian Gym won't instantly repel me, I can go ahead and grab that gift Eevee. I opted not to evolve it though, as I can catch the remaining evolutions, since I can actually get really deep into Route 23 with the 7 badges I've already attained. Here I'm able to capture Slowpoke, Vaporeon, Executive, Jolteon, Abra, and Drowsy normally. I'd say normally since there's a Pokemon here that I had a whole diatribe actually written out for, and that's Abra. Abra may not have Teleport, but it has an even worse thing, and it's called a catch rate of 1. Yeah, not 3 like legendaries in most of the older Pokemon games. Worse. With the Great Ball being one of the best to use in the game, I matched that with Gengar's ability to put it to sleep in order to catch it within literally 3 Great Balls, so I'm sure I was extremely lucky, but holy crap, that shouldn't be that low. And it isn't even the only other Pokemon in the game with a catch rate of 1. When we get to the post-game, everything in the post-game has a catch rate of 1. Moltres, Zapdos, Articuno, Mew, Mewtwo, all of them, catch rate of 1. Sinister, if you happen to be watching, you should have known that that was a bad idea. You can make the battles hard, you can make interesting puzzles to get through, but when you edit maps to be completely ignorant of exploration like the Safari Zone, and make Pokemon with a catch rate of 1, you seriously need to understand that bullshit difficulty doesn't result in a good game. And yeah, you could say that it is my fault for getting into something that's Kaizo. And yeah, I agree, but at the same time there should be some sort of give when it comes to making a fun, yet extremely difficult game. But I digress. That's everything I need to get on this round, so back to Viridian we go. Before going into the gym though, I evolved Executute into Executor with my last Leaf Stone, and went in, since A, I can evolve Abra into Kadabra in a single level, as well as Drowsy into Hypno, but also B, grab the Super Rod, since this is where it was hidden, rather than on Route 12. Which means I get to go efficient, my favorite thing in Pokemon games. Shelter's an easy find over in Cerulean City, which evolves immediately into Cloyster with a Water Stone, as does Cinnabar Island's Staryu into Starmie, meaning there's only one more thing left to do. Kadabra actually evolves at level 100. Yeah, level 100. But guess what? There's a trade here in Cinnabar Island where we can trade a Kadabra for an Alakazam. See, now this is the way to make me happy. Here's something that makes life easier and less stressful. A quality of life upgrade, if you will. Last thing before going after Giovanni's badge though, and that's evolving Slowpoke. I actually left the fighting dojo over in Saffron City just for this, since Slowpoke's a decent enough psychic type to take down a lot of the Pokemon in there, evolving into Slowbro after 1 level. And with that, I'm able to fly back to Viridian and take on Giovanni with a total of 142 Pokemon and a time of 148 hours and 14 minutes. Alright, well there isn't actually any new Pokemon in the Victory Road, meaning that we've got to take down the Pokemon League if we want to get to those last 9 Pokemon in the Cerulean Cave. Of course, that means contending with 5 teams of level 115 Pokemon in a row, which is quite frankly what I refer to as hell, but it's not actually super terrible. My strategy here was to bring in 2 exploding Pokemon, those being Golem and Cloyster. If you recall back to my water-only challenge, Cloyster had both Explosion and Clamp. Clamp is a water-type wrap, meaning I can stun lock opponents and basically knock out multiple Pokemon with Cloyster. And that makes Cloyster one of the best Pokemon in the game. I also brought in one of my tanks in Blastoise, and 3 major damage dealers in Alakazam, Jolteon, and Dragonite. After all, with the rare candies available in the mart here at the League, it's not exactly a difficult thing to just choose a team and run right in there. Jolteon's super fast and can basically get over anything that doesn't go down to a single explosion, and with purchasable ethers, revives, hyper potions, and Master Balls? Oh, well I have enough for 8 of those. Guess that catch rate of 1 won't be a problem in the post game after all. Scratch my previous diatribe about catch rates, I don't care anymore! Anyway, it was a cinch to get through Lorelei, Professor Oak, Agatha, Lance, and my rival, winning me the League Championship in Blue Kaizo for the 2nd time. But we're not stopping quite yet. So yeah, the last 9 Pokemon are all in Cerulean Cave, all of which have that catch rate of 1 like I said, but we don't care since we got Master Balls galore, allowing me to capture Moltres, Pinsir, and Jinx on the 1st floor, Articuno and Chansey on the 2nd floor, and Tauros, Zapdos, and Mew on the 1st basement floor, leaving just the static encounter of Mewtwo. The hardest battle. Yeah, we're just gonna bypass it with this here Master Ball. Thanks for playing. I deserve to end this video on a high note. So with a dex total of a complete 151 Pokemon, and a time of 153 hours and 24 minutes, I went to the Celadon condominiums and got myself a diploma. I deserve this. I've never gotten one of these before except from high school, and I happen to value that one less than this one because that one didn't get me a damn thing. At least this one gave me a nice video for you all to enjoy. With that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and next time we do a Professor Oak challenge on this channel, I think we'll be doing another spin-off, since I'll need to recoup some time to do the third Kaizo game after it. See you guys then. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can get that non-sub viewership down to 60%. And while you're at it, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button and turn on notifications so that you'll be shown when these videos are going live and when premieres are going down, since I like to chat with you guys while we watch the runs together. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.